The chest keys? Am I saying that right? Okay. The Selters. Yep. Got you guys. The Duenas.
Woo! You got it.
The Sims. Got you guys, and the Burke Party. Yeah. Awesome. Good job. All right. So for about the next 10 minutes, you guys, I kind of need your undivided attention. So I'd like everybody to kind of gather around, face me. This is really important, safety-oriented information that I need you guys to have in your noggins in order to have a good time out there today, okay? This isn't intended to scare anybody. It's just important information for you guys to have in order to go rafting, all right? Are you a lawyer? Great. Here, would you follow along with me? Just make sure you check all those boxes as I go. All right. Cool. Well, once again, you guys, my name is JP. I'm going to be the trip leader for our whole group this morning, as well as one of the guides on the water. We are going to Browns Canyon. Excuse me.
Bless you.
We're going to Browns Canyon. Browns Canyon is class 3 and 3 plus whitewater, okay? Whitewater is rated on a scale from 1 to 6. So class 3, 3 plus puts us right there in the middle, kind of an intermediate rafting trip, okay? What that means for you guys is that there's some nice big splashy waves, and there's also some rocks in the riverbed that we have to actively maneuver the boat around, okay? So again, intermediate, somewhat active, all right? We will be expecting you guys to work as a team to paddle together to have a clean run down the river, okay? We'll talk more about that as we go. The flow of the river, we've got 2,600 CFS, that's cubic feet per second. That's how we gauge the flow of the river. A cubic foot per second is about the size of a basketball. So 2,600 basketballs floating down the river past every point every second, all right? So again, what that means for you guys is that it's kind of on the high side of medium, right? It's June, we've got snow melting off the mountains. The river's a little higher than it is in, say, end of August, all right? What that means is more fun, big splashy waves, but it also means more active paddling from you guys, all right? The water temp is chilly, okay? That's why we've given you guys the wetsuits and the splash jackets and the booties, okay? Does everybody have that thermal gear? All right, you've also been given a Type 5 PFD. That's personal flotation device. Those life jackets were fitted to you tightly for a reason. Not only for your flotation, but also that's how we pull you back into the boat should you fall out, okay? We'll talk more about that in just a second. All right, let's talk about a couple different scenarios, you guys. If you look at our rafts, you'll notice that all of our rafts have a perimeter line that go all the way around the outside of the boat, all right? So should you feel yourself starting to fall out of the boat, feel free to grab that, or grab a handle, or whatever you can grab to ensure that you stay right next to the boat, all right? You have a very brief window of opportunity if you feel yourself falling out just to grab onto something before you get separated from the raft, okay? If you can do that, we can pull you right back in. What's your name, sir? Ben. Ben? Okay, if Ben falls out, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna face Ben towards me, all right? I'm gonna put my knee up on the side of the boat. I'm gonna grab the shoulders of his life jacket. I'm gonna say, Ben, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm just gonna briefly dunk him underwater. And what that does is it engages the buoyancy of the life jacket. So once he starts popping up at me, that's when I lean back and pull him back into the boat, okay? This is something you guys need to be able to do for each other. The guide oftentimes has to remain in the back of the boat and continue guiding. So the closest person to that swimmer, please be proactive. Reach out, grab that person by the shoulders of the life jacket and get them back into the boat as quickly as you can. We are all in paddle rafts today, with one exception. We do have one boat with a frame on it, but for the most part, we're all gonna be paddling out there today, okay? Which means you have one of these in your hand. If Ben can't quite grab that perimeter line and he starts floating away, I can go, Ben, grab my paddle, dude, grab on, grab on. 4-foot extension of my arm right here, okay? Ben grabs on, I pull Ben toward me, and then I grab the shoulders of his life jacket, all right? Unlikely that you will see this in action today, but if you drift even further away from the boat, we might throw one of these things at you. This is called a throw rope. I'm gonna hold on to this end, I'm gonna throw this end at you, okay? What I want you to do with this is hold on to the rope, not the bag. so you don't have to find out how much rope is in the bag, okay? So what I want you to do is take this with 2 hands, throw it over your shoulder, and float on your back with your feet on the surface of the river, okay? Please don't wrap this around your hand or anything like that. We want you to be able to let go of it should you need to. Once that happens, we can kind of reel you in, get you back into the boat. Again, unlikely you'll see that in use today, but something we got to talk about. Most important thing, you guys, please never try to stand up in the river, okay? This river can be shallow in places, even at these higher flows. So what we want to never try and do is put our feet down. And the hazard there, you guys, is if our feet become snagged in the rocks, then we've got those 2,600 basketballs pushing on our back, and that's a pretty no bueno kind of deal, all right? Very scary, but very easy to avoid. All we've got to do is keep our feet up, okay? So if you fall out of the boat, if you remember nothing else from this speech,
listen,
please do not try to stand up in the river. Okay, so right here, feet, nose, and toes on the surface. My butt is the lowest point in the river. I'm floating, okay? This is one option for you. If you fall out of the boat and you need to kind of catch your bearings, figure out where the raft is, figure out where you're swimming, that's an okay thing to do. A much better thing to do, though, would be to roll over onto your stomach. Kick, swim, okay? We want to see you guys be active participants in your own self-rescue. We don't want to see you guys just floating down the river like, hey, where's my throw rope, buddy? Okay, roll over onto your stomach. Kick, swim. You don't have to be Michael Phelps, just make an effort, okay? The direction that you swim is going to be indicated to you by your guide. We point positive, meaning we're never going to be like, whatever you do, don't swim that way. Okay, it's always going to be, hey, over here, or more likely, back to the boat, back to the boat. Okay, so again, swim in whatever direction your guide is pointing you. We have 5 boats on our trip today, so your options for swimming are to the boat you fell out of, to another boat, or to shore. If you happen to make it to shore, no big deal, just stay visible. Don't go for a nature hike. We want to be able to account for everybody and ask you if you're okay. We do that on the river by another hand signal. So if I point at you and I am doing this, I'm asking you if you're okay. If you're okay, you're going to do this right back. Yes, I'm okay. If you're cold, if you're bruised, if you're mad at me because you fell out of the boat, you're still okay. Okay? If you're not okay, meaning something we would call 911 for, you're going to give me one of these. Okay, then we're going to get to you as quickly as we can. Let's talk about the dreaded 4-letter F word, the flip. Okay, these boats do not run on tracks. This is not Six Flags. Okay, so it is possible, unlikely but possible, that the whole boat could turn over. Usually the way this happens is if there's a rock or a wave and we hit it somewhat sideways, what can happen is the current can push on the upstream tube, pushing the downstream tube up the face of that rock. In this moment right here, you're going to hear your guide say high side, or get left, or get right. Okay, what we want you to do is actively move from the low tube up to the high tube. If we can do that quickly enough, we can push the boat back down flat and ride around the rock. If we can't do that quickly enough, the whole boat can turn over, in which case everybody's a swimmer, including your guide, unless they're very talented. And at that point, it's kind of a yard sale, right? Paddles are everywhere, people are everywhere. But again, we have 5 boats in our pod. That capsized raft is no longer a safe place for you to be. Your guide's job is to turn that boat back upright. In the meantime, you guys need to be swimming. What are our options for swimming?
Shore.
To the other boat or to shore, right? So again, roll over onto your stomach, kick and swim in whatever direction the guides are pointing you. As I mentioned, the water's cold, so if you fall out of the boat, there might be a minute or two, or a second or two, I should say, where you are kind of short of breath. That's okay. Now that you guys know that, you don't have to be freaked out by it. Just try and relax, take a deep breath, get your feet up, and listen to your guide, okay? If anybody has any medical concerns,
don't stand up.
Doesn't mean you can't go rafting, but it's just nice for us to know about recent knee replacement, asthma, allergies, etc. Please just inform myself or your guide. And as far as etiquette out there, you guys, we want to make sure any trash comes off the river with us. Talk to your guide if you need help doing that. That includes human waste. Okay, we have a bathroom at the put-in and at the takeout. The trip is about 2 hours long, so hopefully we can make it 2 hours without needing a toilet. If we need to pee, that can just go right into the river, no big deal. Okay. How am I doing? What am I missing? Thank you. Okay, there are things in the river called strainers. Strainers are wood in the river. Sometimes it's a tree that has fallen down into the river. Sometimes it's just like an accumulation of sticks that looks like a beaver dam. What you guys need to know about that is that wood in the river is always to be avoided. Okay, so if you're swimming in the river and you see any kind of wood downstream of you, swim away. All right, that's when you want to roll over into that crawl stroke, kick, swim, get away from that hazard. All right. If the boat turns over and you find yourself underneath the boat, no big deal. These boats are only 12 feet long. If you just pick any direction and walk yourself out with your hands and feet like a bug on the ceiling, you're gonna pop right out from underneath that boat, okay? What else? Does everyone understand that everything I've just mentioned can happen to us out there on the river?
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions? Does everybody still want to go rafting? Yeah. All right, let's try that again. You guys want to go rafting?
Yes.
Sweet. All right, thank you for your attention. You guys, we are on the yellow bus with the big stack of 5 boats. You guys can start filing on.
Hey, can y'all see if the level is the right way?
Yeah.
It is? Good. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Becca, you ready? Natalie, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, say goodbye. We'll see you on the river.
Bye.
Say we'll see you on the river.
Yeah, you guys are going on the white van.